everybody, Happy New Year and welcome to the Global Passport Crew, your YouTube channel for international traveling on a budget. Today we are going to talk about OPSEC Colombia. Now OPSEC stands for Operational Security. It's a military terminology that deals mostly with protection of your data, especially when you're traveling with your computers or any electronic devices. But we're going to take that and also apply it to the traveler itself. Now, last year we've been dealing with a lot of guys being drugged and robbed when in Colombia, and particularly in Medellin and Cartagena. They're being drugged with this drug called scopolamine, which kind of makes them a zombie. Unfortunately, this drug, a lot of guys have died off of this drug. There's also been situations where guys have been robbed and shot. Some have been unfortunately murdered. And we're going to take a look at these situations and stuff. So I'm going to take, because I've never been to Colombia, so I'm going to take the advice that I've been given by people who've been to Colombia on what to do and combine it with my military experience on traveling and see if we can come up with some solutions to protect yourself when you're traveling to Colombia, in particularly those two particular cities. But before I get into it, this is not to bash Colombia because I am looking forward to taking a trip to Colombia. I've heard a lot of wonderful things about Colombia and I want to check it out for myself. So I'm looking forward to applying these techniques when I go on my first trip. Also, I want to give a shout out to a couple of YouTubers who have been giving these advice and trying to help everybody to have a safe trip in Colombia. So shout out to Life with David, Razor Ray, DC Born Rob, and Andre from Love Crossing Borders TV. I'm going to leave their links to their YouTube channels. Please subscribe to their channels. I think they have some great advice if you're planning on making a trip to Colombia or any place you're going to go to, because these advice can be applicable to anywhere you want to go. I believe also they do consultations. So if they do consultations, I highly recommend reaching out to them if you're planning to do a trip or any extended stay in Colombia. So with that being said, sit back, relax, and enjoy the ride. This channel does not support nor promote the sex tourism industry. This is where a lot of the issues that arise about people getting drugged and robbed come from. People getting robbed at gunpoint, that's just basically, tourists not, wearing jewelry or dressing like they're tourists, so they kind of make themselves a target. But I kind of want to focus more on the guys doing the pay for play stuff, because this particular portion of it is where a lot of the organized groups are utilizing things like Tinder and other social media apps to lure in the victims. And you guys are falling for it. Women that are in Cartagena, down by the watchtower. Women in the clubs. You guys are being scoped at the airport when you're coming off the planes. Guys are just watching you, see who they can pick out a victim. What you're wearing. When you're walking around in certain cities, what are you wearing? Okay, that's a target we can get. What are you doing? They have a profile of you, so they know who to target. So you have to do certain things to prevent yourself from being a target. And these YouTubers who live there, who have traveled there multiple times, have given advice, but a lot of you guys are more fixated on just doing your pay for play and ignoring it, not realizing that you're in a bad spot. Y'all don't even pay attention to the travel advisory to realize that, okay, if something happens, what do we do? What's the game plan? No one's thought about that. No one's ever thought about what if something was to happen to me. How could I have prevented it? If it happens, what could happen? What what's the game plan? Who can help me? The cops are corrupt down there, dude. I'm sorry. You gotta pay them to do stuff. That video with the Scopamine Queen, yeah, the dude had to pay the cops to go get this woman. I mean, come on. Seriously? So that ought to tell you. So what I'm going to do is take the knowledge of what these guys have told me about what to do when I get to Colombia, combine it with military experience and my experience when I was in Israel, because I got to keep in mind, Israel been battling Hamas way before this war blew up, before October 7th. We were dealing with missile attacks. We've been dealing with terrorism. And there's things I had to do when I was in Israel, especially you went over to Jerusalem, because a lot of you guys don't know, when you crossed over the Damascus gate of the old city, you was in the West Bank. So you had to be careful. Not that it was totally bad. Well, this portion of the West Bank wasn't totally bad, but you had to be careful. So I'm going to throw all that in there. I'm not going to give up too much trade craft because I don't want the bad guys to know anything. So I'll grab a pen and paper and take some notes on this. Okay, guys, let's run through this real quick because this is pretty simple. All right, research where you're going. Know where your consulates at, where embassies at. Where are your embassies? Do you have their contact information? I would do a consultation with some of the guys that's there just to find out, what's going on, what's good places to stay and all that stuff. You got a lot of YouTubers out there that do consultations, even the ones I put up there in the description box. I would reach out to them to see what's up. It's a great way to find out some information so that way you can make your trip safer. So I would do all that stuff. As far as with the trip, make copies of your itinerary, both hard copies and digital. Make sure you can get to them when you need to. When you get to the airport, basically, I keep a digital USB encrypted. Also keep one on my email. So if I got to get to it quick, for some reason I can get to it. Make copies of all your travel arrangements in there. I keep two things, and this is getting a little bit into tradecraft: a burner wallet and burner phone. Basically, none of these things are connected to my bank account. Prepaid Visa card already filled up with the amount of money I'm going to be using when I'm there. A credit card for emergencies, state ID. So that way, if I get robbed of the wallet, nothing's attached to the bank. So my bank account's is cool. They just only got that amount. Where the actual cards and stuff at, I'm not going to get into. Same thing with the phone. It'll have Uber on there. It's attached to the bank, but they can't really manipulate that. I can always just call Uber and say, hey, cancel the Uber such and such because I got robbed. Basically, I could take a hit on a burner phone. No biggie. Learn the language. Whatever methodology you use to learn the Spanish language, learn it, but get it to fluency where you don't have to rely on Google Translate. I have my methodology I'm going to use. I'm not going to get into it, but whatever methodology you're using to learn Spanish, learn Spanish. One, like I said, Uber is going to be your primary transportation. When you order your Uber, if you're inside, stay inside till the car comes. then go out to the car. Don't stand outside waiting for the car. If you're in a restaurant, one, avoid the patio area because guys on motorcycles will rob people on the patios. Watch out for your food. Make sure she's not spiking it with scopamine. And if the waiters come and you pay them by credit card, go with them to make sure they input in the correct amount in there so you don't get scammed. Don't resist the robbers. If they rob you at gunpoint, none of the stuff is worth you dying over for. Just give it to them. Keep your phone in your pocket as much as possible. If you're going to take a quick video or photo, take it, put it in your pocket. Don't stand out with your phone because they'll snatch it from you. Don't dress flashy. Don't wear gold chains and jewelry and stuff like that. Even iPhone watches and stuff. Wear just a regular watch so that way they don't snatch it off you. As far as with the whole sex tourism thing, I wouldn't be meeting women in clubs and stuff to take them back to my place. If you want to, do your thing, go to a brothel. I don't know why guys ain't going to brothels and stuff like that, but go to a brothel if you're going to do stuff like that. Taking them back to your place, you're just opening yourself up to potential risk. So do that. Stay away from the mountain areas because that's where the narco-terrorists are at and a lot of the criminal organizations are at, and you're just asking to get kidnapped. So just stay away from those bad areas, and basically you'll have a good time there. Good, nice, safe time. So those are my recommendations. Having a plan of action, to be honest with you, I'm going to throw this one more thing in there. Let someone in the United States know your travel plans and what you're doing. That way, if you're overdue for some reason, they can initiate whatever plans needed to go and get you some help. That's the best thing you can do. That way, things can start rolling fast and time won't be wasted. And that goes with the OPSEC program because some of the tradecraft I didn't mention, if I was to implement it, trust me, a lot of people would be a lot safer. But you got to be creative and think about what's out there that can help you to get you home safer, get your property back safer. But I don't want to say it online because they'll know. My final thought, if you're going to travel to a place where crime and terrorism is going to be an issue, you may want to reconsider your travel plans or make sure that you're going to be safe. Research where you're going. Know what's going on in those places and devise a plan where you're going to have a safe time. Implement some things in your travel plans that is going to ultimately be safe. Does it mean you're going to travel like a spy? Pretty much. But if you don't want to travel like a spy, don't go. If you're going to go, you're going to travel like a spy. That's just the reality of the thing. So you got to choose how you're going to be safe. You can be safe at home, or if you're going to travel, you're going to be safe like a spy. That's just the way it is. So that being said, if you like the video, please hit the like button, subscribe to my channel. I greatly appreciate it. Until then, safe travels, everyone.